All right then, guys, I tell you what, when it comes to the UK, there's no such thing as a slow news day or a no news day. I woke up this morning and I was immediately hit with, again, the government's online safety bill. Now, remember, and I'm just going to play this and we'll go here first. Now, we know Keir Starmer's a liar. We've got so many examples of him doing so, including this to the Trump administration. Let's just watch that. We'll discuss.
Which is that we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies. But we also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British. Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension, American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time. But no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there.
We are so proud of our history there, and when it comes to free speech in the UK, that's exactly what it is at this point. History. Ancient history. Now, like I said, I woke up this morning and obviously I check X, I check the news and see what's circulating. And it was this. This was a letter from Byrne and Storm PC, attorneys at law from the US. And it's a statement regarding Ofcom's reported provisional notice to 4chan. According to press reports, the UK Office of Communications, Ofcom, has issued a provisional notice under the Online Safety Act, alleging a contravention by 4chan and indicating the intention to impose a penalty of £20,000 plus daily penalties thereafter. 4chan is a United States company incorporated in Delaware with no established assets or operations in the United Kingdom. Any attempt to impose or enforce a penalty against 4chan will be resisted in US federal court. American businesses do not surrender their First Amendment rights because a foreign bureaucrat sends them an email. Under settled principles of US law, American courts will not enforce foreign penal fines or censorship codes. If necessary, we will seek appropriate relief in the US federal court to confirm these principles. United States federal authorities have been briefed on this matter. The Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, was reportedly warned by the White House to cease targeting American with UK censorship codes, according to reporting in The Telegraph on July 30th. Despite these warnings, Ofcom continues its illegal campaign of harassment against American technology firms. A political solution to this matter is urgently required, and that solution must come from the highest levels of American government. We call on the Trump administration to invoke all diplomatic legal levers available to the United States to protect all American companies from extraterritorial censorship mandates. Our client reserves the right. At this point, with this censorship, I don't know what to say. Now, you will remember that Peter Kyle, and by the way, what he states in his statements, going with the name Peter Kyle is not a good start. It really isn't. Try saying his name fast. I'm assuming this now goes for Americans as well. Anyone who is against this bill is on the side of predators, which... Watch this video, then we'll discuss.
I see that Nigel Farage is already saying that he's going to overturn these laws. So, we have people out there who are extreme pornographers, peddling hate, peddling violence. Nigel Farage is on their side. Make no mistake about it. If people like Jimmy Savile were alive today, he'd be perpetrating his crimes online. And Nigel Farage is saying that he's on their side.
I'm sorry.
Not the side of children who are...
I'm going to ask you to clarify. Do you honestly think to say Nigel Farage is on Jimmy Savile's side?
When it comes to online activity, we have seen unfettered access of adults to children via social media. When we put in the age verification, it stops strange adults getting in touch with children. So make no mistake.
This is a major leap. You're going to stick to the fact that you said that Nigel Farage is on Jimmy Savile's side.
Nigel Farage is on the side of turning the clock back to the time when strange adults, strangers, can get in touch via messaging apps with children. We have now asked to age verify the age in which people can have access to online content so we can protect children from unwanted, dangerous content and also those messaging services where people can get access directly to it. Nigel Farage wants to turn the clock right back when all of that, oh, I have absolutely no doubt about it, people are perpetrating more crime online, more danger to children online, and Nigel Farage has said he wants to overturn every single one of the laws that keeps children safe in our country.
It's an interesting extrapolation, but we've got your views on it. Let's quickly...
Yeah, so it's funny, isn't it, when Peter Kyle comes out and the whole Online Safety Act, it is under the guise of protecting children. That is all it is. And if you want to repeal it or overturn it or whatever it is, go against it, use a VPN, anything, then you're on the side of predators and people who want to hurt children. I'm just going to point to this. This is on X. Here are some photos of Peter Kyle with his friend, the online predator, Ivor Kaplan. So it appears that Peter Kyle, not the paedophile, but Peter Kyle with a paedophile, he's on his side. Like I said, this is the guise under the illusion of protecting children. What it's really about is it has child sexual abuse, controlling or coercive behavior, extreme sexual violence, extreme pornography. I don't know why they just didn't say pornography instead of extreme. If you're protecting children, you protect them from all pornography. So fraud, racially or religiously aggravated public order offences. That seems more adult orientated. Inciting violence, illegal immigration and people smuggling. They try to interpret this as facilitating and making it easier for people smugglers, but that's not what it's about, because we've already seen that posts online, you can't talk about illegal immigration, you can't talk about people smuggling, because now the people are linking people smuggling with the UK government, and you're not allowed to do that. Promoting or facilitating suicide, agree. Intimate image abuse, selling illegal drugs and weapons, sexual exploitation and terrorism. I'm going to get on to terrorism in a little bit. I just want to go through a few things. I did type in online safety bill into X, and we'll go through, see what some of the posts are. Draconian power to silence people, that's from The Sun. I mean, when the mainstream media is coming out against it as well, this is Keir Starmer going up. Xbox, I got this on mine, starting early 2026. I don't know why Xbox have the right to defer their implementation, but apparently they do. The petition we put through to repeal the Online Safety Act, and they come out and said, nope, straight away. The Online Safety Act humiliates us all. For too many adults, age requirements about to ban. I don't know what that is. And this is another instance.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud of that.
We've had free speech in the UK.
What a lying piece of shit he is. He really is. This is the Wikipedia, because Wikipedia took, was it the UK government or Ofcom to court? They were really hit with the Online Safety Act. Have you got a Wikipedia license, mate? Yeah, that's it, isn't it? The internet is safe now and surveillance everywhere. This capsulates the UK government. I will find one video that the US have warned the UK and Ofcom about this countless times. We had an American attorney come on before, and because Ofcom were constantly sending emails and correspondence to companies, and this was his reaction.
Preston, thank you very much. So on what grounds are you suing Ofcom?
So Ofcom has awoken the screaming eagle, and they're really not going to like the results of what comes next. In the United States, we have this thing called the First Amendment, and the First Amendment protects an American's right to talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime about anything they choose without interference from anybody, not Congress, not a senator, not the governor, not even the president, and certainly not a British unelected bureaucrat. Ofcom has been sending letters to my clients, and I have intercepted and read every single one of the 4 companies, American social media companies they've targeted with this. And I have forwarded all that correspondence to the White House. And the White House is really, really, really ticked off. For context about how seriously we take these things in the United States, if I were to do what Ofcom did and threaten an American in the free exercise in of their constitutional rights, I would be subject to a 10-year federal prison term. If I paired it with a threat to kidnap, the maximum penalty is death. They have no idea what they've woken up. The empire is extremely cheesed off. Lord Palmerston said in 1850, he invoked the famous Roman saying, "Civis Romanus sum," when the British Empire was running the show, to describe the idea that if you mess with any Briton anywhere on the planet, you're going to have to deal with everybody. Well, you picked on an American, and now you got all of us to deal with.
Preston, you raised the prospect of kidnap, and of course that is presumably because in this country we are threatening the arrest of American technology executives or employees if they don't follow British rules. But I suppose the issue is an American firm could simply say, we're not going to provide a service to Britain. We're just going to shut down our website. Brits won't be able to access it. I mean, I suppose they could then argue, Ofcom could then argue, well, you have the choice that you either operate in our jurisdiction and follow our rules or you don't.
Well, we're not operating in Ofcom's jurisdictions or following its rules. These companies are American companies running American servers and American software on American soil. And Ofcom is purporting to have the authority to dictate to these American companies what they can and can't publish and who they can and can't talk to. And with all due respect to the British government and the Labour government and Ofcom, we fought a war over this, and the UK lost.
And what's the tone of the communications coming from Ofcom been?
Deeply threatening and offensive.
Right. Okay. Could you elaborate on that at all?
If you run around and I'm a lawyer, right? If you turn around and you tell one of my clients, you are engaging in perfectly lawful activity, right? And oh, by the way, for that lawful activity, I'm going to arrest you and throw you in a British prison for 2 years. I take grave offense to that. It frightens my clients, it scares my clients, it offends me, and it offends the White House. And we're about to do something about it.
And as you say, the White House has issued some indication that this is going to become an issue between the United States and the United Kingdom. We've already seen a congressional delegation over in London this week raising just these issues. And of course, we've seen not just American websites be threatened with everything that you say, but also content be restricted by those American websites that are complying with the law. We've seen people's statements about the grooming gang scandal, protests about immigration, as well as things that people would ordinarily think are innocuous, be now restricted on social media platforms in this country. What do you think the American government could do in the coming weeks or months?
So, I can't speak for the White House. They have to speak for themselves. I've made certain recommendations from the White House, including to start that Peter Kyle MP be banned from entering the United States. We've also
He's the technology secretary.
The technology secretary, yes. We suggested he be banned from the United States for threatening American citizens in public, as he has done. We've also recommended that this be part of trade negotiations. Honestly, the fairest settlement here is that the UK gets access to our markets, but when they do so, they have to respect our Constitution. I think that's a pretty fair bargain, particularly when you consider that there really is no law more foundational to the United States than the First Amendment. It's our most cherished and sacred rule. And finally, we also have recommended and contacted the Department of Justice with a request for criminal referrals and for them to open investigations for conspiracy against rights. As I mentioned, that's punishable by 10 years in a federal prison and up to the penalty of death if kidnapping is involved. I don't know whether they're going to do that or not, but the fact is we've asked the U.S. government to apply every single diplomatic and legal lever available to stop this infringement of American civil rights.
Yeah, so as you can see, the Americans are very free speech oriented. They will defend their First Amendment to the very bitter end. And we all know that. And I've got to admit, I'm a British bloke and I am seriously jealous of the leadership that the US have at the moment. Their country is turning around from the destruction of Biden's administration. And what they're doing in the US, they're making leaps and bounds and they are getting rid of wokeness, DEIs, and everything that turned the country upside down is being rectified. And I am extremely jealous because when you contrast it with the UK, we have a WEF agent, which is essentially the British Biden administration is what we've got. And I'm extremely jealous. I do hope, and I really do hope that the US government do put as much pressure as they can on the UK by whatever sanctions they need. And can I just say to my American brothers and sisters, these bureaucrats do not speak for the British people. They are a detriment to us. We want our First Amendment. We want our freedom of speech. We don't want to be controlled by this extreme left-wing agents of WEF government. We don't. So I'm going to put that out there. But the thing I have is it's the marketing. And that's what it is, marketing. for this online safety bill. The reason I say it's marketing is because whenever they called out or they have to argument, they use the same talking points. This is a sales pitch. That's exactly what they use, a sales pitch. That's why the word and the terminology never changes. Now we're on this thing. If you're against the Online Safety Act, you're essentially a predator. That's their marketing. But it's in the guise of protecting children. It's not. Posts are getting censored left, right, and centre on X about protests, about speaking out against the government, about Sadiq Khan's Carnival. When Spotify are hindered by this, it tells you everything you need to know. It is not about protecting children. It is censorship. And I will expand on this with logic, because in the UK, up and down the country, we have parents, people going out and protesting about immigration. Yes. Hotels. And it's not just about the economic strain of having to pay for all these people, which I've got another video coming up about tax grabs and that. Make sure you tune in for that one. It's not just about the economic issue these immigrants cause. It's the real and present danger to our children. We are seeing news reports every day. Young girls, even young boys being raped, groomed and raped. And our women aren't safe. And the government are not listening. In fact, they're using terror laws, which, can I just say, and I am going to say this, on most watch lists, terrorists are Islamics. Yes, it's all the Islamic states on the terror watch, yes. And we've been told for decades that whenever something happens, a bomb goes off, an explosion, anything like that, it's always been down to terrorists, and they always put them down to the Middle Eastern Islamic communities. And we got told that for decades. Now, you can understand when they start ferrying these people in. I'm not saying all immigrants are bad. I'm not. And I don't so much have a problem with legal migration. I have a problem with illegal immigration. That is where my issue lies, because they're not vetted. And when you've scared the population for decades and you then essentially allow terrorists into the country, that's bad enough. But when you reverse the terror laws, and this is really what pisses me off now, you have took those terror laws and you have reversed them onto British people talking out about terrorists, which is essentially exactly how it is. That is pure logic. Since when does caring for your country, caring for your people, wanting the safety for everybody, make you a terrorist? They have bastardized every single law while creating new pseudo-laws. That's all this government is doing. And like I said, it's not their design. They are working for people. All across the EU, all left-wing countries are doing the same. They want to stop us talking. They want to stop us communicating. They only want us to get one side of the story, which is theirs. Now, that's what the Online Safety Act is about. And I'm going to put it like this. When you have citizens up and down the country concerned about the safety of our children, and it is on record of our children getting raped, and I'm going to assume there's even more we don't know about. How can this government justify ignoring us on that, yet create an Online Safety Act to protect children online? Essentially, what they're doing is they're protecting children online while introducing them to real dangers in the real world. That's all it is. If they cared about our children at all, if they wanted to create a safe environment online for children, they would also do the same in real life. They would create a safe environment in the real world, but they don't. This is censorship. That's what the Online Safety Bill is. And I know you might say, Ron, if that was the case, they would just end the internet and stop anyone communicating. They cannot. Their vision of their future relies heavily, and I mean heavily, on the internet. Without the internet, they don't have their future they want. So they cannot. They cannot stop the internet. All they can do is police it. If the internet wasn't integral to their plan, they would have cut the internet a long time ago. But it is integral to them. And they gaslight you every step of the way. What really annoys me, you have people defending these people, defending their actions. Now, they don't have a clue what they're doing. They hear the rhetoric. They hear, oh, they're protecting children, so it must be good. There are a select few people who do not read between the lines and take everything as gospel. These are what we refer to as NPCs, because they don't have a thought process of themselves. They can't internalize things. So whatever they're given externally is obviously truth. And unfortunately, there are people like this that exist. But luckily, there's a lot of people that are not like that. And myself, I have tried for years to create a YouTube channel doing this sort of thing, but they keep getting shut down. And I've no doubt this one will too. But the one word of advice I can give you, if you want to fight back, create a YouTube channel. Everybody's got a phone. That's all I'm using. I'm using my phone. I just happen to have a microphone and a sound system and everything from my old channel. But even if not, your phone has a camera. It has a mic. It's not about quality. It isn't. It's not the quality of the apparatus. It's the quality of the message. And the more people that do this, we just invoke more and more power. Now, yes, YouTube's going to censor us. And YouTube it's a double-edged sword because it is one of the best platforms to get your message out. But counterintuitively, it's also one of the harder platforms to get your message heard. Does it make sense? Because Google is left-wing as fuck, to be fair. But anyway, guys, that's it. The online safety bill going after 4chan, obviously went after Wikipedia, and they won't stop. The Trump administration needs to step in. A warning to Trump is I feel that the EU is trying to align and rise as a superpower. And I think that is the plan. And Trump wants to nip that in the bud straight away. Now, this is just my opinion. This is conjecture, you may say, but I believe the EU is gearing up to raise itself up as a superpower in the world, to be the world's next superpower. Now, my advice to Trump is nip that in the bud straight away. Because I've got a feeling if they do, they might actually succeed, because when you look at how the extreme left has infiltrated every facet of government in just about every country, it becomes a problem. Guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you very much, and stay safe and enjoy yourselves.